Man, but it has honestly been a roller coaster of peaks and fucking valleys, man. An emotional roller coaster. I made a post about my cat the other day. And apparently cats just reflect the personalities of their owner, because I posted, God, this cat's been in a fucking emotional wreck lately, so I got him a new toy. And honestly, that cat has, I talked about it on a previous podcast, all the moving and the crate fucking carrying and all sorts of stuff, being in a new place with almost no windows in a really small cramped apartment. And I'm pretty sure he has salmon PTSD, because I lured him into the cart the last time with salmon. And I'm pretty sure he's never going to fucking eat it again, because I'm like, oh, man, I want to buy him salmon. He had a birthday the other day. I'm going to get him some salmon for his fucking birthday. And won't touch it. He fucking was like, what the fuck is that? And like jumped away from it. Even tuna fish. I gave him tuna on his birthday too, and I made a sandwich. I gave him a little leftover. Didn't want that either. I think he's turned off by fish, man. But apparently, I might have to get a new sort of birthday treat for that cat, because he has just been a giant a-hole, and again, really fucking probably mirrors the personality of its owners. Man, I took a mental health day on Monday, and I just needed to. Sometimes, as I like to say, you shouldn't be anywhere near a microphone. Me, personally. And that is simply because, like, to say I wasn't feeling it on Monday with a podcast would have been an understatement. It's just an understatement. I, like many people, battle depression. And every once in a while, man, you get those fucking days that you're just like, I can't do this today. You know, just everything just seems to be fucking weighing on you. And I'm like, all of this podcast stuff that I'm doing today, minus this bit right here, was scheduled for Monday. And I looked at all of it, and I had prepped it all and had a great time coming up with it on the Sunday morning talk practice that I do on Patreon. And I had a great podcast. And it's such a weird fucking thing, too, because, like I say, peaks and valleys, highs and lows, man. It was Team Smitty season. That's my favorite time of year. One of my favorite times of year when it pops up on Facebook memories. Team Smitty. Unaware of the backstory. I got shit canned from radio once for some fucking bullshit that people made up and made people, advertisers, believe that I said swear words over the air. It was not the case. It was internet. And I was fucking fired with no, like, just knee-jerk fired. Because, advertisers say you swore on the air. We're not going to be on the fucking station if that guy is. Very quickly after I got shit canned, they were like, oh, we fucked up, and you didn't really do that. And the listener fucking response when I got shit canned was overwhelming, including advertiser backlash that said, hey, we know that this particular other radio station fucking sabotaged your ass, so we're going to pull all of our millions of dollars from that fucking station too. So that was pressure on the company to bring me back. When we figured out I was coming back, we played it off like, I think what was in the works for? It was in the works for a couple months. Then it finally got finalized, and we're like, all right, we got to play this off. If Smitty's coming back, we're going to play it off like, hey, we're going to introduce the new afternoon show host, and then have it be Smitty. And I made it, we put the, I'm trying to figure out the way it worked. What was the best, how did it go? We played it off that the radio station was introducing their new afternoon host at the bar, Right Brain Brewery, that I was now working at. So it was like, what the fuck are these radio people thinking, having this party here while I'm working? My old job is having a party for the person who replaced me at my new job, was essentially. And I'm like, fuck these people. Team Smitty, show up and represent. When none of them knew that it was an actual welcome back party for me. So it turned into this awesome fucking thing where friends and listeners had Brad made a t-shirt, Team Smitty. Nikki and Rick, longtime listeners, made Team Smitty shirts, made me a Team Smitty shirt. And it's just, looking back on it, it is such a crucial fucking moment in my life, because it was right around that I realized, like, there's a lot of people that like what I do. You know, it didn't always work like that in my head. I was always like, I kind of suck at this job, you know? But it was a crucial moment. So when those memories pop up, I love going through like the comments and like how excited people were to have me back and to try to get me back, and, you know, and seeing that stuff helps. You know, Team Smitty season, you know, especially once you get into like winter depression, it's almost like perfectly placed seasonally. And even that this time it was like, oh man, I love Team Smitty season. I suck at everything. And that's how it felt. I had for like 3 days, man. It was just fucking, people talk about the pressure, you know, where you get frozen and you can't fucking do anything. And a lot of that has to do, or a lot of this time, I think, on top of like, you know, I'm working full time essentially at this other job, loving it, making great money, trying to fit in all this podcast stuff, the reaction videos, all this creative stuff that I'm still trying to do. And I'll talk about that coming up in a moment, you know, and you're like, oh, I fucking don't have it in me today. And this time again, a large part of it is that I fucking started smoking again. I hate even saying that out loud because I'm so fucking pissed off at myself. Probably 3 months ago now, I haven't told any of my fucking friends. A couple of select people that I see at like Fresh Coast, where I do trivia nights on Tuesday, and a couple people I work with that are also smokers at the other job, you know. But I haven't told my parents. When I was staying at my parents for the summer, I think I started smoking again mid-July, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I was going to my parents' house after fucking work at the casino one night, and I was just like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt like I was just regressing to like when I got out of the Army 20 plus years ago, and I stayed with my parents for 4 months until I found a place. And I worked at the casino fucking back then too. And I was just like, I feel like a complete fucking failure. And I remember I pulled into the fucking gas station, the Shell station in Kalkaska. I'm like, fuck it. If I'm going to regress, I'm going to go all the way. And I fucking bought a pack of cigarettes and just drove around Kalkaska County for like 2 fucking hours just smoking. And I kept it from my parents. I'm pretty sure they didn't know. I don't know how they didn't fucking smell it on me. They never said anything. They could have smelled it and said, you know what, we're not going to fuck with him. I don't know. But I've just been so fucking disappointed in myself, you know? But to me, every fucking day is still the last day because I'm still not fucking done quitting. Or won't quit quitting is the best way to put it. Because I'm not working out, because I'm fucking smoking. And I'm like, I can't smoke and fucking run on the elliptical and do my weed day workouts, you know? Sometimes it just fucking gets you down. And whatever you got to do to pull yourself out of it, man. You know, I feel the need to talk about this stuff when it happens because it happens to fucking pretty much everybody. You know what I mean? In different ways. Like I saw somebody post today on Facebook, and I didn't comment or anything on it, but it was essentially a cry for help. You know, saying that he was suicidal and he didn't want to live anymore and he was useless and all this shit. And I wanted to say, and I didn't, it's always worse in your head than what it is in real life. You know, people that suffer from like mental illness and depression and all that stuff, man, it is in your head. Essentially, your brain fabricates all of these fucking negative, terrible thoughts that you tell yourself, you know. It's like, and whatever you got to do to get out of it, you just got to remember it's in your head. And whatever you got to do, like the other day, I legit, like Stuart fucking Smalley, stood in the mirror and said, motherfucker, you can do this. You got this, you know? And it didn't necessarily help at the time, but, you know, I want to say for 2 or 3 days, I was just frozen, just like sitting here. I still went out and did the things I need to do, but I'm like, I can't do a fucking podcast today. You know, and a big thing on Monday that really helped me, I decided I wasn't going to do the podcast. And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? Because I'm doing this project that I will tell you about right now. What a transition. If you follow me for any length of time, you followed me on the radio, you know I love to do these like audio productions where scripted. This is not scripted, but it's in a similar vein. And one of my passion projects, I did Smitty's Christmas Carol that I adapted the Dickens script with a whole cast of people on the radio. And I did Substitute Santa, which was an original script where me and Brother Levi flew around the world subbing in for Santa. And it was just super fun. Some of it was stupid. And I've always wanted to do like voice acting and like writing scripts. And this is my bridge into that. I'm learning how to do it, so to speak. Some of them are good. Some parts are good. Some parts are not that good. But the whole package is pretty charming. Anyway, the point of the fucking story is one of my bucket list projects that I want to do. And I don't know why. Just because it seems fucking fun, like something I want to do is to do a live reading of, I'm holding the book up to the camera, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. I had plans to do like a cast with it, and I'm like, you know what? What would be more fun is just to do a live reading on Halloween night, and I think I'm going to do it at 8 o'clock. And it's just going to be a straight-through live read of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I have some effects that I'm going to use, some mood, ambient backgrounds. I'm not going to be on camera while I'm reading it because that's going to give me fucking anxieties. But so the other day, one thing that got me out of it, I'm like, I need to be creative. Me personally. When I'm having moments like that, being creative is a great outlet to kind of bust out of it. So what I did, I have probably read this out loud twice. I have a real hard time reading things out loud because, similar to the stuttering Smitty thing, my brain goes too fast. There's a lot of things going in there, and I'll skip ahead and fuck up words, and I'm like, man, this is going to be real tough, and I had planned on doing it. So I committed to just reading the whole thing through. I'm actually torn between how I want to read it. Do I want to read it the straight-up Smitty fucking voice, more or less, while enunciating and reading slow? Reading slow is not my preferred method. But like, for instance, I'll read the first paragraph. I'm going to read it in the two accents, and then you tell me what you think. Found among the papers of the late Diedrich Knickerbocker, a pleasing land of drowsy head it was, of dreams that wave before the half-shut eye, and of gay castles in the clouds that pass, forever flushing round a summer sky, castle of indolence. So that's the voice I would read it in, and did rehearse it the other night. It'd be about 90-minute production. 90 minutes, hour 45, something like that. I'll have a couple breaks in there. But this is the other voice, kind of like my old-timey voice. And like, I always think, I'm like, God, it sounds like the Bing Crosby narration of Legend of Sleepy Hollow on Disney. And I'm like, well, if that's what I got to go with, that's what I got to go with, because it's the only voice I got for this thing. In the bosom of one of those spacious coves which indent the eastern shore of the Hudson, at that broad expansion of the river denominated by the ancient Dutch navigators the Tappan Zee, and where they always prudently shortened sail and implored the protection of St. Nicholas where they crossed, there lies a small market town or rural part, which is some by called Greensburg, but which is more generally and properly known by the name of Tarrytown. So those are the two options. I don't know which I'm going to read it in yet. I'm pretty much partial to that second voice. Point of the story is I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But just making myself do that with the effects in my head, I could actually play some of the clips, but I'm not going to do that of my rehearsal. Anyway, that helped me. Doing some videos yesterday helped me, reaction videos, and then going to trivia. Just... Again, I'm going out and doing the things I need to do. I'm not a complete fucking shut-in when I'm feeling like this. But those feelings pass is the point of the story. You have to convince yourself, however the fuck you got to do it, that that's made up, man. I have so many goals and things I want to do, and yet your brain tells you can't do those things, And I'm perfectly fucking well aware that I am. And that the path before me is looking more and more clear, like it can happen if you stick to it and do it every fucking day. So there you go. That's why I didn't do a podcast on Monday. And, again, I feel the need to talk about this because so many other people deal with it. You know what I mean? I'm okay. This is my therapy. This fucking podcast is my therapy. You know, other people don't have this outlet or another outlet to use, you know? I've always been that type of person that feels like, I was like, fuck, did you see that fucking react? That's another reason that I'm awesome, is because I still got fucking mad react speed. Seriously, I'm gonna have to create a video where that's a fucking fuck. Did you see that fucking react? That's another reason that I'm awesome, is because I still got fucking mad react. See it through the microphone. Anyway, the point of this fucking story is that shit gets better, man. You know, it's all in your fucking head. And what else was I going to talk about? The point of the story is like, I'm okay. I have this fucking option. Not a lot of other people, or a lot of other people don't have options or don't think they have options, you know. Find somebody you trust to talk to. If it's not a therapist, you know. Talking helps. And again, before I knock the water over, I'm one of those type of people that I have to talk about the shit that's in my head, you know. Like right now, saying these words, I feel the best I've felt in fucking days. And today's been a pretty good day. But just saying the words out loud is a big fucking sigh. Sometimes you just gotta let it out. It's the never-ending sigh sometimes, as I like to say. Anyway, I'm okay. You're okay. You're fucking awesome. I'm fucking awesome. It's time for your 420 break. What the hell? Everything!